Welcome to another episode of the Bricks family. Today we're going to focus on the LEGO education set we did an unboxing for a little while ago. We've actually started doing the lessons with the kids, and we wanted to share with you our experience and sort of what's in store. Real quickly, to run through what we're hoping to do with the video is just provide an overview of the first lesson, go into some of the details of what the lesson explores. We will share some of the examples from the book and the build instructions, and at the end we'd like to share our thoughts about our experience and what you can expect hopefully to learn if you do this yourself or in your classroom. So this first one is this is the Simple Machines set. It's set number 7689. The set overall is called Simple Machines, but it explores 4 different simple machines. It does gears, wheels and axles, levers, and pulleys. And the first lesson we did was gears specifically. So let's dive right into the gears. So this was the teacher's guide that came with it. We just wanted to quickly show, so this is the table of contents, and as we mentioned, these are the 4 main simple machines that is a part of the set. But we're going to jump to gears, which is the first one that we did. So before we do that though, real quickly on page 10, I thought it would be worthwhile, Andrea, if you want to just quickly explain how this fits into curriculum, because like it's fun that it's Legos, right? And it's fun that it's exploring, we can say it's exploring science and all that stuff, but like I guess on a practical level, how does it fit into the school system? How does it fit into homeschooling?
So this page here kind of shows how the 4 different simple machines, gears, wheels and axles, levers, and pulleys, shows how the 4 different simple machines relate to the idea of STEM education, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it kind of goes through each section. You can see science, engineering, mathematics, and does talk about technology over here. It shows how each simple machine will address that. So in the science section, it talks about, you know, predicting, being able to communicate, or classifying different gears or different wheels and axles, different sizes, has you propose solutions to simple problems and implement those solutions and then evaluating them. Very simple, basic science concepts. Engineering, I feel like, is fairly obvious. Mm-hmm. Like they're simple machines, so you're dealing with models in 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions and testing them. Mathematics, the gears one specifically, had them counting gears, doing ratios, identifying different shapes and angles.
That's great. We just wanted to quickly show that. And then let's jump right into the first lesson. So on page 16, this is the start of it.
So it has 5, the first part is it has 5 basic principle models that it has the students build and explore. Each one is kind of introducing a topic for the gears. So the first one here is going to show the students and help them understand that adjacent gears that are right next to each other will turn in opposite directions. So that's kind of the concept they're learning. The second one introduces a small idle gear, and it's kind of showing that gears these gears are the same size. They're a 40-toothed gear, and they'll turn at the same speeds. And the idle gear will just change the direction. So these will be at the same speed and same force, but be able to turn in the same direction by adding the idler gear. The third principle model is going to show them gearing down. So it's taking the drive gear is a large gear going to a small gear. So they learn about the ratio, and then the idea is they learn that it will turn it much quicker, but it has less force. The fourth principle model is the opposite. It's going from a smaller gear to a larger gear. So you're gearing down. I know that seems odd, but it's called gearing down. So it's showing that it will the speed will slow down on the driven gear, but that your force is a lot stronger. So the amount that it can push. And then the fifth model does look very different from the first 4, and this one is going to use the crown gear and help the students understand how you can use it to change the angle by 90 degrees of your turn. Then after your 5 principles, it has the students build a main model. So they give them a little story and a little problem, and have the students build the model of a little merry-go-round. And then it has them build a second model and add a couple of gears to see how the speed changes and the ratios change. And it has them explore all the ideas that they learned in the 5 principal models in a model that's related to a story for them to kind of relate to.
Right. And it was great to see, we actually have, this is the one the kids built, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was great to see Violet light up when she saw this working out.
Okay. Oh my goodness, that's slow!
To see that.
Yes. Great.
Yep. And then the last part of the lesson is the problem solving portion. And it gives the students a problem to solve, and they have to, it does not come with build instructions for the problem solving part. This is the portion where they have to design and use the gears to design their own creation to solve the problem. Sam and Sally, our little minifigs, are having trouble finding the popcorn stand, and so it asks the students to build and design a popcorn cart that has a sign that's up higher that can rotate to kind of draw attention, so it's easier to find the popcorn stand.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to design and build their own. So it's kind of relating back to that idea of identifying a need or problem, kind of talking through and designing, coming up with a model,
Yeah.
and then building it and evaluating it.
Just something I thought was really neat. When we went through this, I noticed this cart here, and the one I made ended up looking very similar to that. The kids, however, either they saw it and they didn't care, or like I think they took the instructions of, hey, make it your own, solve this problem, and they made something completely different, which I thought was really exciting, and I think kind of shows the difference between adults who are just like straightforward, like, okay, I can solve the problem, here's part of the solution, whereas they were excited to, from the ground up, solve the problem, and they really did. And it was neat to see how different their end result was, and rewarding, I think, too. Like, they were very proud of it. Their grandma and grandpa were here a few days or about a week later for Easter, and they wanted to share this machine with them that they had made, and they were excited to tell them about it. So it's great. It really is great to see them excited about this sort of science and engineering and stuff. I'm really excited to see how it goes as we do more.
Yeah, I'm very excited to move on and do the wheels and axles and kind of see, for me to do it because it was fun, and also to see them do it and explore that. So overall, we thought it was really great. When Shane and I did it, we had a lot of fun. And when the girls did it, they really had a lot of fun too. As you saw, there was moments of, discovery and amazement and excitement. And things I think I would recommend is, it is good to have 2 students working together or in a group, or to work directly with the student. It helps to have one person turning the gear and the other person counting how many times the driven gear is being turned. That gets a little tricky if it's just one person trying to do both, especially for a student. Another thing is, I think that when there's 2 people, then you can have one student explaining their idea, and it helps them learn how to propose ideas and explain their ideas, which is going to help them remember what they're learning a little bit better. I would say with the principal models, both of our girls had a lot of fun doing them, and it was no problem for both of them to build them and explore them and answer the worksheet questions. So for our kindergartner and our 4th grader, that was no problem. With the main model, I would say they were both able to build it, and both had fun discovering it.
Right.
The problem solving portion is definitely more complex and complicated. So our kindergartner did help with it, but she would not be able to do it on her own, and she really didn't necessarily contribute a lot to that.
Sure.
So that was definitely more that the main, or the problem solving model would be more for upper elementary ages. And I think that we would definitely do, since we own this, do it again like in another year or two.
Yeah.
Because there's concepts like with the ratios and the gearing up and the gearing down that they didn't fully grasp, that I think another couple years
Right.
that they would be able to grasp that even more. So I would say anywhere from, for the beginning portions, you could start at kindergarten, and I would say you could go all the way up to even beginning middle school with some of the simple machines.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say, we were talking earlier, one of the fun side effects to exploring science in this way is in the time since you guys have done the lessons together, you were saying that, and I've seen it myself too, that the kids see gears everywhere, whether they're actually exposed gears. I've seen both the girls see mechanisms and say, like, you can see them sort of thinking about it, and they'll say, like, are those gears? Like, is that what's... And so it's great to see them taking what they're learned here and like seeing it in the world around them, and seeing what it adds to our lives and what it can do. And like, you know, I think it's fun to take those sort of scientific things that we were exploring here and make them sort of visible to them, so that it's practical almost for them to see them in our everyday lives, and then they get excited about science even more.
Yeah, at the beginning, when I asked them, can you think of any place you've seen gears? Neither one of them could think of anything.
Yeah.
When they said, oh, what about your bike? Oh, yeah, okay.
Right.
But like they couldn't think of any on their own. Now they see them everywhere.
Right.
And it's a fun way to be able to reiterate the vocabulary. To reiterate the vocabulary and the things that they learned. I think that'll, you know, it just, we can touch right back on all the things they
Right.
learn. And so it's just helping them remember it.
Yeah. So
It's
I would
fun.
say overall a success.
Yeah.
Like you said, we will definitely do it again. We're excited to do the other ones. So if you like what you saw, if you're interested in hearing more about the other ones, please subscribe. Come back for more. We will do all of the lessons in here. We also recently acquired the More to Math set, and we will do some lesson exploration there too. So hopefully those will be coming soon. Thanks for joining us, and take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.